Okay, so I'm the Aquarian Dragon, and today's video is actually going to be on the law of karma. So, the interesting. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I I forgot that I don't have my stand with me, so right now I'm using my staff. And yes, I'm outside in nature, well, in a park with a lot of green grass. So, today's topic is the law of karma. What is the law of karma? And what is the purpose of the law of karma? So, many people tend to associate karma with, well, in witchcraft and magic. They tend to utilize the threefold law, which is what you send out comes back to you threefold. And it's not something that I believe in. And the reason being is because in the Wiccan tradition, that law, that threefold law, is what you send out comes back to you. But that's not true. Reason being is because what they believe to be karma, um, that's not the way the law of karma works. So the law of karma is the law of cause and effect. Whatever you do, good or bad, has a consequence. Not everything good you do has a positive consequence. Not everything bad that you do also has a negative consequence. Everything has some sort of consequence, whether it's good or bad. So, through the study of magic, witchcraft, and all that, that little threefold law kind of muddles up the term of karma. So, karma is the law of cause and effect. So, what you do doesn't come back to you, it just causes another effect to kind of happen. So, the interesting thing is, and you harm none, do what you will in the Wiccan tradition, which is in the Wiccan Rede, which, mind you, read in the Wiccan Rede means advice. So it's, in all honesty, the Wiccan advice. So in that little paragraph or in that little script, it would be, by the Wiccan law ye must, in perfect love and perfect trust, 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill, and you harm none, do what you will. What you send forth comes back to thee, so ever mind the rule of 3. Or, my bad. So ever mind the rule of 3. What you send out comes back to thee. I forgot the rest of it. So follow this with mind and heart, merry ye meet and merry ye part. Sorry, I don't have any of my books with me, so I can't remember it off the top of my head. But that is the main principle of Wicca, which is a religion, other than that of witchcraft, which is a craft, practice, which has very much individualism, and everybody practices what they think or what they will. So when it comes to that do no harm, do what you will, that can be interpreted in many ways. I wouldn't say that that term is too fluffy, but where, to me, if somebody does you harm, you're well within your magical right to kind of strike back, to defend yourself. Solely to defend is where I'll kind of put in that little citation. In another version of the Wiccan Rede, that and you harm none, do what you will, lest it is to defend yourself, was a part of another book that I read called The Dragon of Sea, Land, and Sky. And somewhere in the description, I'm going to put the name and the title down with the author, but I don't off the top of my head remember who wrote that book. But it was a very good book on draconic magic, dragon magic, working with dragons, and just working with the dragon of sea, land, and sky, the three basic dragons. So with that, it was the dragon of sea, which would be the subconscious, dragon of land, which is the conscious, and dragon of sky, which would be kind of like the superconscious. So past, present, future. And when I was working with them and throughout all the different traditions that I kind of learned from, I started to pick up that what people called karma, the karma of threefold return, is false to some degree. It was a way that was created to kind of scare witches into being lenient, to being less than who they are. So take it as like a version of trying to bind a witch's power, to kind of make them fear their own craft, so they wouldn't get to their full potential. Which in any witch's journey, I do suggest that you kind of touch up or learn about dark magic, because a witch who cannot dish out dark magic, a witch who doesn't learn dark magic, or who doesn't study dark magic in some degree, even if you're a white witch, I don't care. If you don't study some form of dark magic in any practice, if you don't know what you're dealing with, how are you to deal with it? It's somewhat like working with demonology, demon magic. You kind of have to know what spirit you're kind of working with. So it's kind of the same basic principle. So long as you're not throwing out death and all this other crap at people, the law of karma is as it states, cause and effect. But if you're going to do magic, if you're going to really get down to the basis of what magic is, one little advice that I would have is truly understand the law of cause and effect. Is what you want to do really necessary? Is it something that needs to be done the way it needs, or is it something that needs to be done in that particular way? Or is there another way to kind of execute it? So is there another option? Kind of use magic as the last resort. Kind of don't let it be like that. Don't let it be your first hand draw in any given situation. Let's say your teacher was rude to you and made you mad. Is it right to kind of curse the teacher, hex the teacher, bewitch the teacher with some form of magic? If you did that, what would happen? If you didn't do that, what would happen? Is the pro better than the cons, or is the con better than the pros? Kind of thing. Like, you don't dish out magic for any particular purpose, because that would be a waste of energy. So think about it. If you're gonna truly use magic, you kind of have to use it with discretion. It's a gift of some sort, so you wouldn't use it willy-nilly for any purpose, especially with dark magic. Everything has a consequence, including dark magic, light magic. Everything has a consequence, so of course you're going to use it with discretion. So let's say if somebody was supposed to die and you heal them. Well, if you heal that person, maybe his death kind of gets balanced out by someone else's who wasn't meant to die, but because you saved one person, that other person dies anyways. So everything kind of has that cause and effect. What you send out definitely does not come back to you, but doesn't stop you from experiencing that kind of like karma, if you will, because everyone experiences the cause and effects created in their own life. So it's kind of like working with a pendulum. You swing the pendulum one way, you get the other way, and it's kind of like that, going back and forth in kind of like a circular loop, going back and forth, or kind of like a cat's eye or cat's eye type of circle with law of karma. So the funniest thing about the law of karma is that threefold law. Even though it is a Wiccan thing, people can still utilize it. A witch is literally walking karma. We used to know the law of karma as it was, which is the cause and effect. And a witch is the cause, and we are the effect. So that's my little episode on the law of karma, and hopefully you guys kind of get the message. And happy Halloween, happy Samhain, and may the god and goddess be ever in your heart and ever in your favor.